It was a great night in the NBA. We had some blowouts, some nail biters, and some big time performances, so let's get into it. To start our night, we had the Phoenix Suns taking on the New York Knicks, and this game was never really close. The Suns struggled without Devin Booker, and the Knicks would be without RJ Barrett. But Julius Randle would shoulder the load with another great game, scoring 28 points and grabbing 16 rebounds. In his last 7 games, he's averaging 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists on 50% shooting. Brunson would chip in 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. High man for the Suns was DeAndre Ayton with 12 points and 5 rebounds. What is happening to the Suns, man? Knicks pulled this one out 102-83. Sticking with the New York teams, our next game featured a Kyrie Irving putback dunk. Yes, you heard that correctly. A Kyrie Irving putback dunk. The Nets took on the Spurs in a game that was never close. KD and Kyrie would only play 28 minutes. And KD, the most efficient scorer we have ever seen, went 10 for 14 for 25 points and 11 assists. Kyrie would finish with 27 points and 8 boards in this nasty one-hand putback dunk. Keldon Johnson led the way for the Spurs with 22 points and 4 boards. The Nets are rolling and have extended their win streak to 12 games. I told you we had some blowouts last night, and Portland would put it on the Pistons. Pause. Jeremy Grant came to dominate his former team, and dominate he did. He had it going all night, pouring in a game-high 36 points on 65% shooting. Anthony Simons would have it going as well with 30 points and 5 assists. What a find for the Blazers. I could see why they traded CJ McCollum. Dame would finish with 19 points and 10 assists. Bojan Bogdanovic was the high man for the Pistons with 21 points. Final for this one was 135-106. Next, we are heading to cold-ass Minnesota, where the T-Wolves will play with some urgency last night against the 2-time former MVP Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets. And what was a pretty closely contested game throughout, the Timberwolves will pull away in the fourth behind Anthony Edwards' 29 points and 10 rebounds and 5 assists. Jaden McDaniels will have a nice game as well with 21 points on 9 for 10 shooting from the field. The Joker would have 24, 9, and 6 and be assisted by Bones Highland and MPJ, who would help with 18 points apiece. T-Wolves pulled this one out 124-111. Let's head down to H-Town, where the Rockets would start out and lead the entire first half until Luka started doing Luka things. Doncic has scored at least 32 points in the last 6 games, including 3 50-point games, so you know he wasn't going away easily. He would finish with a measly 39 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. Christian Wood would add 21 points. Tim Hardaway also scored 21 points for Dallas. Kevin Porter Jr. had 25 points, and Jalen Green added 20 points. Eric Gordon, after his comment saying the team isn't improving at all, would also chip in 19 points. Free Eric Gordon. The Rockets have now lost 4 straight and their 7th straight at home. Dallas would take this one 111-106 to continue their 7-game win streak, which is the longest they've had since the 2010-2011 season. Next, we are headed out to LA, where the Clippers hosted the Miami Heat. Kawhi would not play in this one. What's new? And the Clippers would compete but fall short. Bam Adebayo led the charge for the Heat with 31 points and 13 rebounds. Tyler Herro, who has quietly had a great year, would add 23 points and 7 boards. PG would have 25 and 7 assists for the Clippers, but it just wasn't enough. The Heat take this one 110-100. Heading over to Indiana, we had the Pacers versus the Raptors. This was a back and forth game all the way up until the fourth, where the Pacers would pull away. Van Vliet had an off night, but Gary Trent Jr. would step up and have himself a ball game, scoring 32 points along with Pascal Siakam and Scotty Barnes, chipping in 26 and 23 respectfully. It was a team effort for the Pacers, led by Benedict Mathurin with 21 points and Buddy Hield with 19 points and 5 boards. Halliburton would chip in 16 points and 8 dimes, and the Pacers would pull this one out 122-114. We had a fun matchup in Philly last night that featured Joel Embiid and Zion Williamson. This was a back and forth game all night, with Zion and Joel trading baskets until Zion went down with an ankle injury in the third quarter. He would not return. The Sixers would pull away behind Joel's 42 points and 11 boards. Harden would also contribute 27 points and 8 assists. Zion would finish with 26 points on 10 for 12 shooting and some great finishes. CJ McCollum would also have 26 points and 6 assists. Sixers take this one 120-111. Now let's head out to Charlotte, where the King would continue his run. LeBron James said the other night that those 30 balls were not working, so he needed to get 40. At 38 years old, this mindset is just ridiculous. The Lakers would lead the entire game with a late surge from the young Hornets. LeBron James would finish with 43 points, 11 boards, and 6 assists without a single three-pointer. Thomas Bryant, who has been a tremendous help with AD out, had 18 points and 15 rebounds. The Hornets were led by Terry Rozier with 27 points and LaMelo with 24, 7, and 5. For our next game, we got to go to the Bay, where we had a double OT thriller between the Atlanta Hawks and the Golden State Warriors. This was a back and forth contest with a lot of players getting a lot of buckets. Trae Young would have 30 points and 14 assists. DeJounte Murray would have 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. And John Collins would also have 25 points, but none of that mattered because Klay Thompson finished with 54 last night. Yes, Klay Thompson had 54 points on 10 for 21 from 3. That is absolutely ridiculous. The Golden State Warriors would pull this game out 143-141. We got to take it to Cleveland, where Donovan Mitchell put on a performance for the ages. The Cavs would host the Bulls, who have been playing really well after the whole Levine debacle. This game was close throughout, but what seemed like a 1 versus 5 matchup all night for Donovan Mitchell. He would erupt for 71 points and 11 assists, the highest scoring total since the late, great Kobe Bean Bryant. DeRozan and Levine would combine for 70 points, which is insane. This game would go into OT behind a crazy tip-back layup from none other than Donovan Mitchell, who would lead the Cavs through overtime, and the Cavs would pull this one out 145 to 134. What a night it was in the NBA.